Jake almost missed it. She'd been distant for 2 weeks. Short replies. Slower texts. He was one message away from deleting her number. Then someone pointed out what he'd been reading as rejection was actually the third sign on this list, a sign so counterintuitive, most men mistake it for the exact opposite of what it really means. Women rarely say, "I like you," first. Attraction doesn't come as a sentence. It comes as a pattern, in behavior, in timing, in the tiny things she does without deciding to do them. Today, I'm giving you all 8 signs. And by the end, you'll never read a woman the same way again. Sign number 6 is the one that almost cost Jake everything. It looks exactly like rejection, and if you misread it the way he almost did, you'll walk away from something real without ever knowing what you lost. I'll tell you exactly what happened to him when we get there. Stay with me. Sign 1, the micropause. Picture this. You walk into a coffee shop. She looks up, for half a second, barely visible, her face doesn't move. Then the smile arrives. That gap is called an attentional blink. Psychologists have measured it. The brain processes emotionally significant things faster than it can control the reaction to them. That pause isn't confusion. It's her nervous system registering you before her expression catches up. Here's a real example. A woman named Sarah once described it perfectly in an interview about attraction research. She said she felt caught the moment eye contact landed, like her face hadn't gotten the memo yet that she was supposed to look normal. Most men are too busy performing in that moment to notice it happening. Stop performing. Start watching, but the pause is just the entry point. What happens next is where most men completely lose the thread, because sign 2 happens without her even knowing she's doing it. Sign 2, she mirrors you. There's an old psychology study where researchers sat pairs of strangers in a room and just watched their body language, no talking involved at first. The pairs who later reported the strongest connection were the ones whose bodies had synced up first. Leaning in together. Crossing arms together. Reaching for their drinks within seconds of each other. Nobody in the room decided to do that. It happened below conscious thought. If you lean forward and she leans forward. If you cross your arms and hers follow a few seconds later, that's not coincidence. That's her nervous system telling on her. Epictetus said we're shaped by what we give our attention to. Mirroring is attention with nowhere left to hide. Sign 3, she remembers details you forgot you said. A guy I heard about mentioned, just once, in passing, that his dog hated thunderstorms. 3 weeks later, during a storm, she texted him, "Is Max okay?" He hadn't thought about that comment since he said it. She'd been carrying it the whole time. That's the tell. Anyone can remember your name, that's nothing. But the brain doesn't waste storage on details it doesn't value. If your words are still living rent-free in her head weeks later, that's not politeness. That's significance she hasn't said out loud. Now here's where it gets counterintuitive, because the next sign is the one almost every man in America reads exactly backwards. Sign 3, she remembers details you forgot you said. A guy I heard about mentioned, just once, in passing, that his dog hated thunderstorms. 3 weeks later, during a storm, she texted him, "Is Max okay?" He hadn't thought about that comment since he said it. She'd been carrying it the whole time. That's the tell. Anyone can remember your name, that's nothing. But the brain doesn't waste storage on details it doesn't value. If your words are still living rent-free in her head weeks later, that's not politeness. That's significance she hasn't said out loud. Now here's where it gets counterintuitive, because the next sign is the one almost every man in America reads exactly backwards. Sign 4, she gets slightly nervous around you. We're taught confidence equals interest and nervousness equals disinterest. Biologically, it's often the reverse, a faster laugh. A stumble mid-sentence. Talking a little too quickly. These are markers of nervous system arousal, and here's the twist neuroscience keeps confirming: the brain can't always tell the difference between anxiety and attraction. Both trigger almost identical physiological signatures, so when she gets a little flustered around you, that's often her body reacting to you before her mind has caught up to explain it to her. Sign 5, she creates reasons to stay in contact. Think about the last time a conversation should have naturally ended, and didn't. A woman who isn't interested lets things fade. A woman who is interested manufactures small reasons to keep the thread alive. A random text the next morning. This reminded me of you message about something completely unrelated. A question she already knows the answer to, just to have a reason to talk again. This isn't calculated. It's instinct. Humans stay connected to what matters to them. If she keeps finding small reasons to stay in your orbit, that's investment, even if she'd never say it directly. Sign 6, she pulls away slightly. Remember Jake, from the beginning, here's what actually happened to him. For 2 weeks, her replies got shorter. Slower. Less warm. He convinced himself it was over, that whatever had been building between them had quietly died. He almost stopped texting first, just to save face, then he found out the truth. She'd had the busiest, most overwhelming 2 weeks of her year, and on top of that, she told a friend she was scared of how much she actually liked him. So she pulled back. Not because she felt less. Because she felt too much, too fast, and it scared her. Sometimes attraction looks exactly like distance. Real attraction can feel exposing, and exposure triggers self-protection. Most men read pulling away as rejection and disappear immediately. Jake almost did too. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Don't assume distance means disinterest. Watch the full pattern before you decide it's over. Jake almost threw away something real because he read one signal in isolation. 2 signs left, and the last one is the quietest of all 8. Most men never catch it, because it doesn't look like attraction at all. It looks like small talk. Sign 7, her body angles toward you. In a group setting, stop watching faces. Watch feet and torsos. Faces are easy to control. Bodies aren't. If she consistently angles her body toward you, even while she's mid-conversation with someone else across the room, that's her subconscious making you the anchor point of the space. Body language researchers consider this one of the hardest signals to fake, because almost nobody consciously manages it. Sign 8, she asks about your future. This is the one hiding in plain sight. What are you doing this weekend? Are you gonna be at that thing next month? What's your plan after this? Questions about your future are really questions about whether she'll be part of it. Women don't typically ask casual acquaintances for a forecast of their life. If she's asking, some part of her is already picturing what comes next, even if she hasn't admitted that to herself yet. Here are your 8 signs: the micropause, mirroring, remembering small details, slight nervousness, manufactured reasons to stay in contact, pulling away, body angling toward you, questions about your future. No single sign is proof by itself. But when 3, 4, 5 of these stack together, like they did for Jake, whether he noticed at the time or not, that's not coincidence. That's a woman telling you exactly how she feels, without ever saying the words. Here's my question for you: which one of these 8 signs have you lived through but never had a name for, like Jake did with sign 6? Drop the number below, 1 through 8, and tell me what happened. I'll be reading through the comments and replying to as many as I can. If this just changed how you're going to read every interaction from now on, hit that like button. It helps this channel reach more men who need to see this. And if you're not subscribed yet, do it now, because next video, we're flipping this completely, the real sign she's losing interest. And the exact moment most men miss it without realizing. I'll see you in the next one.